What up, nerds? Bujo head Jody here. I've been bullet journaling since 2017, and I would like to share with you my October 2020 monthly spread. Welcome to Q4. Everyone excited? Woohoo! Alright, let's get started. We're going pretty heavy with the fine liner, although we've got some classic pumpkin doodles. So we're going with a bunch of oranges, a little gray, and a splash of green in the fine liners. So I got everything sketched out already. I like to change it up from month to month. So last month it's kind of soft and curvy and pretty mild liner heavy. This month we got some boxes, very boxy, using a lot of just the pen. So actually this is probably gonna go a lot faster. We got a little mini calendar here on the front cover page. Pretty simple. Trying to keep it very clean. Last month we also did a lot of uppercase for my sort of special lettering, and this month you can see it faintly, the outlines. We're gonna do some fun lowercase, kind of curly, spooky season little bits. I do have a couple quotes that I'm going to be sprinkling in. They're all from the same scary movie, which is one of my very favorite movies. If you like weird stuff that's a little gory, it's just kind of bizarre, but it's kind of wonderfully delightful. It's called May. And the quote that I just wrote down, it's a little small to see here, I think, is, "If you can't find a friend, make one." So you'll see a couple more quotes. Maybe you'll get a feel for the movie, kind of decide if you want to go check it out. I do recommend it. Obviously not appropriate for small children. I really do. I like a lot of that gory stuff. So this is definitely the month for me. So we're working on this October with these sort of curly serif lowercase letters. So this specific type of lettering I actually was inspired by, I'm gonna mess up her name, Cindy. We'll just call her Cindy. You know her. She's fun. She's actually one of my absolute favorite planner YouTubers. So we're just looking at a little erasing there. I have edited out a lot of the erasing, so if you came here for that, I'm sorry, that was all you were gonna get. I know it was fast, but let me know if you like watching me erase things, if you find it soothing. You can always leave that in. So we're going with we're just gonna do a bunch of pumpkin doodles. Honestly, this month, pretty built-in theme. I'm okay with it. I'm here for it, you know? So I thought with these colors I was going to do a little bit more sort of just like splashes of colors outside of the boxes, but as you'll see, I like this sort of clean look with these pumpkins in the box. We're just going to use those four colors, the two oranges, this sort of dark gray, and the green. Mix it up a little bit, but I don't know, it's super simple. Like I've said before, I'm not an artiste, trying to keep it a little simple. So that's our cover page there. And then we're going to move on to the right side of this page, which is going to be sort of my financial summary page. I'm not really mixing it up much, probably for the rest of the year. I'm pretty stuck in what works for me. I wouldn't say stuck, actually. It works for me, So, just doing our boxes. We're gonna put some pumpkins up there at the top. We got our total difference box up on the top right. The first section are for assets, second section for debts, and the third section at the bottom is going to be for targets. It's for working hours and my variable budget items. So you can see it's a super simple month. I think the one thing that is going to take any time at all to do this month are these fun lettering. So usually I'll write all this out, but I have been doing this same setup for this whole year, I think for the past at least 2 years, possibly more, probably more actually. So these aren't really going to change, so I don't really need to write them out in total. But that top right box is difference, and then it goes assets, start, end, and then difference. So I'm just writing the first letter of each of these words, just sort of, honestly, I could probably put the empty boxes there and it would be totally recognizable for me. Maybe I'll do that later in the year. And then the second section, again, so debts, start, and difference. And then down at the bottom, it will be targets, T for targets, P for planned, A for actual, and then the last D for difference. So for assets, I've got 5 lines there for checking account, my cash, which I actually had a lot more of at the start of the pandemic, but I got like $5. I'm not really using cash, so. And then I've got 3 savings accounts. Each have their own purpose, and do some sort of monthly shuffling around of money to put a certain amount away. This doesn't include investments or anything like that. And then all the debts are credit cards that I pay off in full every month. So I am debt-free. I actually finished that this year. It was all consumer. It wasn't nothing fun. So we're gonna throw in our pumpkins. Got a little green one. I'm gonna give it some fun, different colored vines, just to keep it different. So this is just the totals page for my financial. So we're going to keep track of what I'm actually doing on the next spread. But this will just give me the total starting amount, the total end amount, and basically like direction in which my finances are moving. So yeah, it looks pretty clean. So this is gonna give me all the details for the whole month. And then once again, I haven't put in the actual titles. I've just used the first letter. We're actually putting this in 3 sections, because on the left-hand page, that's where I do sort of all the money, the financial, bookkeeping kind of stuff. And especially this month, I have to do a lot of transfers. And a Q3, I try to keep most of my credit cards active by at least putting a little bit of amount on them. So a lot of them had just like $5, $15 here and there. So every single, so I gotta pay those all off. A lot of little transfers. So I have pretty much filled up that left-hand page. And it's only the second. I do pay all my bills on the first, so I actually recently, in the past couple months, changed all my due dates for my credit cards. So I could do that, and it's so nice and clean. I highly recommend. So even if I have, 9 credit cards to pay off, I know they're all done. So this section, it goes date, amount, account, total, D for description, and then B for budget. Now what I keep on my budget, that's everything going out of the budget. So any credit cards that I pay off, that's money I've already spent, and I've already counted it as being spent. So that's just a transfer, so it does not count towards the budget. What counts is when I say pay my Comcast bill. What up, Comcast? And so that will all go towards keeping track of the budget column. And then on the right side here, I try to motivate myself to work a couple more hours. My job, and so I've got date, hours, total, income, and increase. Now last month, I did need a little bit more space on my financial side, and so sometimes I'll give myself a little extra duplicate of the left hand side when I know I'm not going to need that full side of the page for my hours. There are only so many days in a month. I don't work weekends. So I gave myself a couple more lines for my financial side. So you'll see the titles there all match. Date, amount, account, total, description, and budget. Some magic erasing. And now we're going to move on to the calendar spread. I mentioned last month that usually this calendar comes before the financial and the hours totals. And I actually switched them last month, and I really liked the order. I think because I use the running totals page, the last page, I use that a lot more, and so it's easier to get to when it's earlier in the monthly section. So I kept them permanently switched. So this is the calendar. Very simple, very clean. Got the full month there. And then on the right-hand side, we're going to have our now and later boxes for anything that is going to happen this month, but doesn't have a specific date that it's happening on. And then the later is for any notes I need to make about next month. Because I pay everything off on the first, a lot of bills come in at the end of the month that aren't due until, the middle of the next month. So I hang on to those until until the 1st. So it's a nice little place to put that. I did make this month, I made that later section smaller than the now section. Just because I know I never really use a lot of it. So these little boxes, we're going to put the date in there. And then the first letter of the name of the day is going to go up at the top. And I'm going to label my now and later boxes with an N and an L. So this whole thing is very simple, very angular. I was very surprised at how quickly I was able to do this. So good to remember when you're having a lazy month. And wait, I didn't mess up the 10 this month. I can go back and watch September. I was just counting 01, 02, 03, got to 09, and I decided to write 010, which doesn't work. So I got that right. Got that right this year, or this month. So we're working on our pretty letters. I will link you to Cindy's tutorial on this. It's a good one. I made some modifications, like we do our E's a little bit different, but it was a good starting point, you know. So I've already written the quote for this spread up at the top now. There, if you can't read it, it says, "I need more parts." Once again, highly recommend that movie. So for that F there, I did try bringing up the crossbar so it was more like the T's. I really didn't like it. I liked it lower down. It worked a lot better. I did have a little trouble with this L, which is so funny because the T's are basically just an L with a crossbar, so a little movie magic for the erasing. Again, apologize, you know? Maybe next time we'll have a little bit more erasing. So we're gonna put in some more pumpkins. I must confess, every time I draw the outline, I always think it looks like a butt. You're welcome. Now you can't unsee that. So we got another green one here. I think I varied it from the other little green one. I have slightly different vine colors. If you'll notice, I'm kind of going over the markers, give a little bit of detail there. I do like how the mild liners, if you go over them, they do get darker, so you can give it a little bit more detail, some shading, not too much, but you know, still a little extra something. Make the pumpkins look a bit more pumpkin-y. So we got our fun vines, our cute pumpkins, and our creepy quotes. But for the most part, it's pretty simple this month. But wait, I almost forgot about our little marker for the month. So we're gonna put our little tabby right there. I like the little green. It's very, very bright. So that's all set. So we're gonna close it up. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in a little bit for the weeklies. All right, bye guys.